Hello everybody, SlimKirby here, and welcome to the third and final playthrough of the Undertale Let's Play. We are finally going to get to the Genocide route. We did the neutral path, we did the pacifist route, and now we're going to do the Genocide, aka kill anything and everyone in the game. So, that's pretty much what we're going to be doing for this next playthrough. But before we get started, there is one thing I want to kind of tell you guys. Unlike the neutral route and the pacifist route, a majority of this playthrough will be post-commentary and not live commentary. Do not worry, the two most important aspects of the Genocide route will be done in live commentary, and it will be my first blind, genuine reactions to those happenings. So do not worry, I'm not going to rob you guys of that first authentic experience. But as far as everything else is concerned, I really don't think like you guys are going to be missing much because, quite literally, in my opinion, the Genocide route is the most boring route. It's the route where there's not really a lot happening. You're literally just going around the area, killing all the enemies, and there's like no NPCs to talk to or anything like that throughout the entire Genocide route. It's just a very boring and not really an exciting part of the game. And honestly, I'd rather kind of talk about that kind of stuff while I'm going through that, as opposed to just kind of just skipping around to certain parts, which is what is going to happen anyway. But like, because of all the skipping around, when I did my initial playthrough and I recorded it blind, I just didn't have a lot to say because it was quite literally just me going around killing everything. And it just really wasn't that exciting, it wasn't that fun, and it didn't really get exciting or fun until you get to those two specific parts that I talked about earlier. So yes, the playthrough will be done in post-commentary, but I will feature my first blind, genuine reactions to essentially the two main boss fights of the Genocide route. And again, you'll definitely see what those are. If you've played the game, you know what those two boss fights are. So yes, that's pretty much what I want to say. And with that, I think we're about ready to get this started. So I'm going to jump right into the playthrough. Yeah, I'll see you guys for that. Okay, guys, let's get the Genocide route started. As I explained in the intro already, this will be post-commentary. The reason why it is because when I watched my footage back, it just wasn't that entertaining or that interesting. So I figured that this would be a better way to handle this in this actual playthrough. So I am actually talking to you in 2017, the correct year, and this playthrough has been going on for like the last 2 months or so. It's been very enjoyable. A lot of people have seemed to really enjoy this and my authentic reaction to things. Sorry if this particular playthrough will feel very cheapened because it's not going to be my first genuine reaction to everything, but I will show a few genuine reactions because I have left a few live reactions in this, so do not worry about that. But anyway, before we get started with the Genocide route, once you actually finish a pacifist playthrough, you get this little cutscene with Flowey right here, which basically tells you that, well, you saved everybody. You saved the world of Undertale. If you want to play this game again, you're going to have to do a true reset, which essentially means that you're erasing your file and erasing pretty much all of your data to the point where everyone won't recognize you anymore. Like, it'll be like you're doing your first playthrough again. You'll even have the Omega Flowey fight as well, which if you do a second neutral route after the first neutral route, you won't actually get that Omega Flowey fight. So that's basically what happens in basically restarting your game after the first initial pacifist playthrough. Otherwise, if you don't do a true reset, you're just going to have that ending over and over and over again, which can't exactly get a lot of playtime with that, if I'm being perfectly honest. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and start our Genocide route here. The first thing I am going to show off, though, is in this first Flowey encounter, when he's kind of explaining the friendliness pellets, you can actually avoid the pellets, and he starts to get kind of angry. And you can actually keep doing this for a while too, just kind of make him angrier and angrier. So yeah, I found this to be humorous to show off, so that's why I went ahead and did this as well. Then he gets like really you know what's going on here, don't you? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do, actually. So then he actually tries to kill us, but then that's when Toriel comes and saves the day. So, yeah, because this is a genocide route, we're going to be killing everything. And Toriel doesn't like that, but, you know, that's kind of the name of the game. You got to destroy everything in this game, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be going against every enemy possible and killing everything. Now, there is kind of a requirement in terms of killing. For every area, you have to kill a certain number of enemies, and once you do, the enemies will stop showing up. You'll never have to deal with them again. And I'm also going to show off all these, like, kind of mini-boss fights in full. I'm not just going to show the cheap, like, cutaway because, meh. But, like, Napstablook, for instance, we've saved him every single playthrough, so now we're actually going to try to actually finish him off now. He's not really too hard. I mean, the battle will pretty much last the same length regardless as if you kill him or save him. And it's actually kind of funny when you actually try to kill Napstablook here. He's like, you know, I'm a ghost, you can't kill me, and then the battle just kind of ends right after that, so, that's kind of interesting. Because of that, I don't know if, like, I mean, I assume because of the genocide route, you have to, get rid of him via killing. I assume, but, I don't know, it made it seem like you could honestly save him, but I'm not gonna say for certain because I honestly do not know. So yeah, we're literally just gonna kill everything, kill all the enemies we can, and at a certain point, we'll get an encounter, but nobody came. Once you do that, you know that you've pretty much exhausted that area of enemy encounters, and you can move on from there. It's kind of annoying, they keep showing you that text. Like, they show that text over and over and over again until you actually get to the end, which is kind of annoying. And once you get to a save point, it'll actually show you that, oh, okay, you kill everybody. But here we go. When you're doing a genocide route, Toriel pretty much dies in one hit. So, yeah, very, very easy to get rid of her. I hate that I'm doing this. It brings back painful memories of my very first playthrough, but in a genocide route, it must be done. So yeah, Toriel's gone, and the ruins is pretty much cleared. But yeah, as I was basically saying, whenever you, after this point actually, whenever you go to a save point, it'll actually bring up a kill counter, which basically tells you how many enemies you have to kill in the area before you've met the genocide conditions. So that's one thing you can kind of use to keep track of your progress while you're doing this. So that's pretty much what we're going to be using as our indicator. So I'm going to kill as much as we can and wait until that kill counter actually goes away. So right here, this is where Flowey kind of talks to you before the main part of your adventure actually begins. And here, because you're on a genocide route, he seems to be very, very buddy-buddy with you. And it's actually kind of interesting because due to this partnership that you now have with him, he's actually going to help you throughout the game as well, and I'll explain how that actually works as we go through. And here's another thing. The dialogue does actually change quite a bit when you're on a genocide route. As you can see right here, you're very dismissive of what all the characters say and do. You kind of have that, like, cold heart killer instinct, I guess, going on at this current time. So, yeah, like, I went there to see if I could match up with the lamp again. But yeah, so, like, there is definitely a difference between the dialogue. That's why I'm going to show as much of this dialogue as possible. And I feel like the difference in dialogue is a lot different from, for instance, the Genocide route and the Pacifist route, compared to the neutral route anyway. The Pacifist route dialogue is different, but it doesn't seem like it's so different, especially considering, like, I pretty much saved a lot of the bosses. So the reason why I'm showing this fight in full against the Snowdrake, this enemy is actually very important. You have to kill this guy. If you actually get away from him or escape him, you can actually not go through with the Genocide route. He's the one random enemy that's weird like that. So you have to make sure you kill that Snowdrake. Otherwise, the Genocide route will be aborted and you'll be on the neutral path. So yeah, whatever you do, make sure you do that. So one thing you're going to really notice is, just because you kind of have that cold heart killer vibe going on here, we're actually going to be not even due to our own control. The game will just act like that. But we're actually going to be a dick to Papyrus. And when I say a dick, we're going to be a huge dick. We're going to pretty much ruin all of his puzzles. We're going to be very defiant. And you'll see how Sans is going to react to that as well. So, but first, like, we have to actually get to the puzzles, because the puzzles are actually very different in this game as well. But along the way, we're going to kill some enemies, kill some doggos, which I feel bad about. Here's another thing. You can actually take 3 snowman pieces from this snowman. And once you get all 3, you pretty much kill the snowman. You don't have to do that, but that is something you can do if you want to have some extra healing items. It doesn't affect the Genocide route or Pacifist route or anything like that. It's just something you can do. It's like the jar of candy in the ruins. But as you can see here, like, we're not even getting Papyrus a chance to explain his puzzle here. We're just going to move across the field before he even activates it. We're going to, in a way, kind of scare him off a little bit. And if you actually talk to Sans, he's like, you know, if you should try doing the puzzles. You should try to make my brother happy, but we're gonna keep on doing that. And because Sans really loves his brother, he's not gonna be taking too kindly to that. And see, like, even like the dialogue even changes quite a bit as well. Like, they don't actually have that argument anymore. Like that argument about which is harder, crosswords or junior jumbles, which is interesting. But here, as you can see, Flowey actually solved all the puzzles for us. Like the snowball puzzle, the switches puzzles, all the puzzles were solved by Flowey. So that's how he's going to help us, so we can essentially get through the game without having to worry about solving anything. All the puzzles are basically done for us. It's like that for this area, it's like that for the waterfall, it's like that for the hot core and the just the hot valley in general. All the puzzles are basically solved. Here's another enemy that's very annoying to fight in the Genocide route. This is Jerry. He doesn't actually hurt you at all. Very harmless enemy, but he takes forever to kill, because he has, like, super high defense. I think he gives a lot of experience in gold, too, so it's not bad to get him, but, like, it can still be very annoying, too. So here we go, we have another puzzle, we're gonna... I keep walking through my puzzles. Everyone likes japes. Everyone likes jungle japes from Donkey Kong 64. Puzzles are japes. So yeah, we're not letting these skeletons have any time of our day. Like, seriously, we're just kind of being mean to them. Now he's like, hey, puzzles might be fun if you try them. Well, sorry, buddy. In this route, we don't care about puzzles. We really don't. So we're going to keep on killing these enemies. See, I got a lot of Jerrys in these in this run. so I have to keep killing them. It's really, really annoying. And you know for sure that you've killed all the enemies when it says determination at the save point. So once you get that text, you've pretty much met the condition. You can move on from here. From here, the point of no return is activating the fight with Papyrus. If you do that, even if you get captured by him, at that point the genocide route is aborted. So make sure you kill all the enemies, including the Snowdrake, before you actually get to this point. And here Papyrus is just further frustrated that, you know, we've been basically ruining all of his puzzles, and you know, he's tired of it. He's sick of this. Me? Write about something? So here comes probably the most interesting piece of dialogue from Sans. Guess we didn't need your help to have a good time after all. Say, I've been thinking. Seems like you're gonna fight my brother pretty soon. Here's some friendly advice. If you keep going the way you are now, you're gonna have a bad time. And he just vanishes. Pretty creepy. Pretty creepy. And that's pretty much the last we're gonna see of Sans for the rest of the game, because once you actually KO Papyrus, yeah. Once you KO him, Sans doesn't want to appear. He doesn't want to see you. He doesn't want to associate with you. Even if you're not on a genocide path, like, he still won't associate with you at all. So, you'll lose access to all those Sans scenes and dialogues and everything. Another thing worth noting is, during a genocide route, there are, like, no NPCs. So once you get to Snowden, you won't see any NPCs, there won't be any monsters around, except this guy right here, because he's important to the actual plot. But yeah, basically, because you're killing everybody, like, the monsters are either dead, or there's actually another plot point we'll get later on, where apparently Alphys is trying to evacuate all the monsters to get away from you. So that's kind of what's going on there, and why we don't actually see any NPCs here. And little bits and pieces of other dialogue change as well. If you try to interact with certain objects, you'll have kind of like a darker, more serious tone about something. Stuff like that. Just very minor tweaks. But here we go. Getting ready to deal with Papyrus now. First, you're a freaking weirdo. But see, this is what, like, I really kind of like about Papyrus, though, is that he clearly sees you're a threat. You are a clear and imminent danger. But even he still thinks that you can be saved. You can still get some good out of this. So even through this whole thing, even if you were a complete dick to him, he's still trying to help you. Which I think is just... it's such a beautiful thing about his personality. But, honestly, this is a genocide route, which I hate doing this. Gotta get rid of him. Ooh. Well, that's not what I expected. And his head just kind of lingers on there. But still, look at this. Like, still, he thinks we can do better, even after all of this. Like, he still has faith in us, which is just incredible. We killed him, and he still has faith in us. Just very, very deep. Papyrus being such a deep character for what he is. I don't know how that works. It just does. It just works. That's the strange thing about it. And here's the monster kid reacting to nobody being around. Even the echo flower acts like there's nothing around as well. So, yeah. Gonna start working our way through the waterfall area now. Only have to kill 18 monsters, which I believe is less than what you need for Snowden. So it doesn't take too long to KO everything. And of course we have the dummy fight as well. It's actually kind of interesting because the dummy fight changes a little bit. Essentially he's going to be mad because you killed the dummy earlier on in the playthrough, and that's going to stir up a whole bunch of emotions within him, and that will cause his soul to actually rejoin with his body. And because of that, you can actually attack him now, so you don't have to worry about avoiding all of his attacks and then sending his own projectiles back at him, which is kind of interesting. It makes it a lot easier to do this fight. And you guys are probably thinking, like, so far the Genocide fight, or the Genocide route in general, doesn't look that complicated. It seems like very easy, especially considering that you're leveling up throughout the whole process. But let me just say, you guys haven't seen what this route has to offer if you actually think that, because let me just say, there are definitely some very, very big things coming up. In fact, there's actually one scene coming up very, very soon, so I'll probably switch to live commentary during that. But yeah, trust me, it will get difficult. It will get very, very difficult. So anyway, right now, talking with the shopkeeper in Waterfall, he's actually still here. And if you actually talk to him for a bit, you can see that essentially because he's old and he can't really fight anymore, and this way it'll give you a reason to use your money that you've collected throughout the game so far to get some better items and equipment. He's actually there as a distraction, so basically by talking to him, you're kind of letting other monsters escape. But don't worry, like, I mean, you can't fail the Genocide route by talking to him or anything like that. It's just kind of flavor text, basically. That's pretty much all this is. You only have to kill what the game requires you to kill, so do not worry about that at all. So the next place I'm going to show off here is Temmie Village. You can still actually use the shop here, which is where you can sell items and buy Temmie flakes if you really want to. Don't really have a lot to say right here. I mean, it's still the same shop as it was before, so there's not really much I have to say. Although, you can't get the Temmie armor in this playthrough, so keep that in mind. And also, the music is very, very creepy. This is some really, really creepy music in here and in the Temmie Village in general, so that's pretty much what I wanted to showcase there. And the final thing I'm going to show off before I actually cut back the live commentary is this room right here. Apparently, you can light your way in this room for some reason. I don't know, I feel like I tried this in my playthrough, but it just wasn't really working. But yeah, you can turn a light on. You don't have to do this in the dark. I was just being an idiot before, so do not worry about that. And yeah, that's going to do it. So we're going to go to live commentary now. So I hope you guys enjoy what's coming up next.